Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I will present about my final project. The title is Design and Manufacture of Fiberglass Pipe Cutting Machine with Adjustable Holder. I have two supervisors. The first is Mr. Bayu Karuniawan, STMT, and the second is Mr. Rizal Indrawan, SSTMT. My name is Yoga Pratama Putra. My NRP is 0617040053. I'm from Design Manufacturer 8B. This is my discussion point. The first is background. Number two is research problem. Number three is research delimitation. Number four is flowchart. Number five, list of needs. Number six, design concept. Number seven, calculation design. Number eight, fabrication process. And the last, conclusion and suggestion. First is background. The development of the time requires human to create something new in order to make it easier for human to carry out activities and reduce the danger factor of previous technology. One of the industries that really feels the development of the times is the manufacturing industry. The manufacturing industry requires basic material to create a product. Metal is one of the basic material that is often used in the manufacturing industry, but there are several weaknesses of metals that can hinder the development of a technology. One of which is easily corroded metal. Therefore, many manufacturing industry are looking for other basic material. One of which is composite material. Composite material were chosen because of their durability, relatively affordable production cost, and easy to form. When the fiberglass pipe molding process is not directly in accordance with the design for the length of the pipe, a cutting process is carried out so that the length of the pipe matches the design. Cutting pipe using a special cutting machine for fiberglass pipe can minimize production costs. And then the research problem. From the description of the background above, the formulation of the problem is as follows. 1. How to design a fiberglass pipe cutting machine with adjustable holder. And 2. What is the manufacturing process in making this cutting machine? And 3. How did the cutting machine perform when it was tested? And then research delimitation. The delimitation of the problem is the study in order to clarify of the object of research, which include 1. The end result of this research is only from the success of the design and assembly review of the piece. Number 2. The type of pipe to be cut is made of fiberglass. Number 3. The thickness of the cutting is 1.7 millimeter. The calculation of construction welded joint is not counted, so that it is considered safe. Number 5. Not discussion the electrical system. And then this is the flow chart. The first is start, and then field study, identification of problem, study of literature, and then preparation of list of needs, and then making design concept, and then design concept 1, design concept 2, design concept 3. Selection of design concept, and then design on calculation. After that, software analysis, and then maximum stress, and then the working mechanism of the tool, and then material pools, and then assembly tools. Third, testing tool. This testing can cut pipe with a diameter of 100 to 500 millimeter and produce a symmetrical cut. Production cost and conclusion and submission, and then finish. And this is my design concept one. In concept one, the pipe cutting machine with adjustable holder frame material use a 40 40.40 hollow square with dimension of 1000 millimeter and 600 millimeter, using a hand grinder as a cutting tool and a diamond disc as a cutting edge. It is placed on the railway using a sliding system, namely the SBR. The pipe holder uses four rollers, one of which is driven by an electric motor with a gearbox ratio of 1.1 and 12.5 to increase torque and reduce RPM, which is located under the frame. Two holders can move back and forth with a guide railway and 600 SBR type bearing block. And then this is my design concept 2. In the design concept 2, fiberglass pipe cutting machine with adjustable holder. The frame material use hollow square iron with frame dimension of 1600 millimeter, using a hand grinder with a diamond disc A for cutting. The grinder is placed on two 250 millimeter SBR type guide railway. There are two pair of roller as a place to put the fiberglass pipe to be cut. Two rollers can move back and forth, which are placed on the roller on the pipe. In one of roller, there is a drive with a electrical motor with a gearbox to increase torque and reduce RPM. The electric motor is placed in the corner of the frame. And then my design concept 3. In this design concept 3, fiberglass pipe cutting machine with adjustable holder. The frame material use hollow square iron with frame dimension of 1000 and 500 millimeter of the cutting tool using a hand grinder with a jig as a gripper. The grinder is placed on 500 millimeter SBR type wet railway. Type clamping use a pair of roller on each side, and there are two pair of clamps. In one of clamp, there is an electric motor as driver to rotate the pipe during the cutting process, which is under the engine frame. The foundation of the roller use ASTM A36 flat 6 millimeter thickness. And then the concept selection. This is a table selection concept. Table selection concept. The selection criteria is manufacturing process, and then operational cost, operational, and the last is cost. And then the metric value. One one is the new concept is much worse than the existing product concept. Two is the new concept is worse than existing product concept. Three is the new concept is the same as the existing product concept. Four, the new concept is better than the existing product concept. And the five, the new concept is much better than the existing product concept. And then this is my metric concept assessment. This is a selection criteria, manufacturing, operational, and cost. At this stage, the design and detail calculation, the selection component at carrier namely is design concept 2. The calculation of and then calculation, electric motor power calculation. At this stage, the calculation of the power of electric motor will be carried out. Before calculating the power of an electrical motor, a torque value is required. Spindle spindle speed is the speed of transmission shaft that drive the cutting blade used, namely the diamond cutting disc with the following data. And this is a cutting data. The type is wet and dry, size, and max RPM. And then cutting speed or cutting speed based on the diameter of the workpiece and the speed of driven shaft. This is the formula, and this cutting speed value is this. And then penetration rate is the ability of cutting edge to penetrate. Uh, and then feet per revolution. Feet per revolution is the feeding of the blade on the workpiece based on the rotation of this blade. And then to calculate the power of electrical motor, first calculate the torque that occurs when the engine is working. To determine the required motor power so that the motor works as desired. Uh, this is the formula of motor torque for pipe. And after that, this the 2020 volt is AC gearbox motor with 25 watt power and has a speed of 30 rpm. Gearbox ratio 1.50 is able to use to rotate the roller, which function to rotate the fiberglass pipe during the cutting process. And then carry the calculation of frame strength. The calculation is carried out to determine the strength of the frame to be designed. The design of frame use ASTM A A36 hollow profile with dimension of 40 and 40 and 1.2 millimeter. The physical properties of ASTM A6 A36 material can be seen in this table. The parameter is material, the density, yield strength, ultimate tensile strength, modulus of elasticity, bulk modulus, Poisson's ratio, shear modulus. And then in analyzing the strength of frame, auto-diffusion 3060 software is used. The result of this analysis will get the maximum stress value in the frame. After getting the results of the stress calculation and evaluation of material failure will be carried out due to excessive loading. To evaluate this result can use the following equation. And this is a calculation of frame strength formula. Maximum design stress or allowable stress, material stress, and safety factor. The calculation of frame strength is one one 125 MPa. And the next, determine the distribution of the load content in the frame. The design weight of the pipe cutting machine is 6.4 kilogram. The weight of adjustable holder unit is 10 kilogram, and the weight of the motor and reducer gearbox is 3.5 kilogram. To calculate the amount of loading that occurs, can use the following equation. This is the formula calculation of frame strength. Uh, Cutting tool is 12 12.8 kilogram, and adjustable holder 20 kilogram. Motor gearbox is 7 kilogram. This picture the distribution of the load across of the frame. The load of the cutting machine is shown as the following picture. The maximum stress simulation result using the software is 0.7 MPa. When compared with the calculation of maximum stress, the result is still said to be safe because the maximum stress is smaller than the allowable stress. And then next, determine this distribution of load content the base roller with which is 5 kilogram. To calculate the amount of loading that occurs, can use the following equation. This picture show the distribution of the load that occurs on the base roller. The load of the base roller is shown as the following picture. The maximum stress simulation result using the software is 0.1 MPa. When compared with the calculation of the maximum stress, the results are still said to be safe because the maximum stress is smaller than the allowable stress. And then this slide is fabrication process. The fabrication and assembly stage are a series of work of several material components that will be assembled into one with the implementation step by step until it become a form of construction so that it can be installed or assembled into a final desired shape and plan in advance. The implementation will be carried out in several stages, which will be explained to include display picture during the fabrication and assembly process. The first is process of making frame, and then process of making adjustable holder, and then process of making cutting tool, uh, then process of assembly, and then process the finish and painting, and the last is finished product. And then this is a process of making frame. This this frame is designed using a hollow profile with a size of 40 and 40 and 1.2 millimeter. The following is the process for making the frame. The first is cutting hollow profile. Before the cutting process, the marking process is carried out first. After cutting the profile according to the size according to the design. And the second is hollow profile welding. After the hollow profile material is cut to the length according to the design, the welding process is carried out to combine the two profile. In the la and then uh, hollow profile assembly. Welding material using SMAW welding, the process of combining several component parts from the frame of the machine after the welding process is carried out by the grinding process to flatten or smooth and the sharp edge of the welding result. And then process of making adjustable holder. The roller is designed using ASTM A37 pipe with a diameter of 2 D. The roller is placed of a base made of 5 mm thickness ASTM A36 plate with the is combined with SBR bearing block as a support for the roller. Bearings sit on both sides. And then process of making cutting tool. The cutting tool is designed to use a hand grinder that is paired with a jig and a SBR wet railway as the base. The jig for hand grinding is made of STM A636 plate with a thickness of 5 mm and mount with a hollow square as the pillar. And then process of assembly. This is the picture my the my the machine uh, assembly process, and then process of finishing and painting. The finishing stage is carried out to improve and refine the visual of assemble machine. This stage is done to remove parts that interfere with appearance of the machine by grinding and caulking. The next step is the painting process, which aims to prevent rust and to beautify the appearance of the machine, thereby increasing the selling value of the machine. And then this is my finished product of final project, the cutting machine, pipe fiberglass cutting machine with adjustable holder. And then this is a testing tool and device trial. Results of tool. From the results of the design and planning of the machine in the previous chapter, the result of a fiberglass pipe cutting machine with an adjustable holder are obtained as shown below. After the machine results are obtained, the next stage is trial process to determine the speed of cutting process for one pipe and also the operational feasibility of the machine. This use a fiberglass pipe with diameter of 100 mm. This cutting process use a hand grinder that is given a jig and is paired with an SBR with wide railway for the back and forth system. For the pipe super roller, it is adjusted using the SBR wide railway, which is installed under the base roller. The following is the time data for the cutting process after testing the machine. And then this is conclusion. Based on the research that has been done, it can be concluded several things as follow. One, the design is the machine is done using fusion 360 software. The method used is the Ulrich method by making three different design concepts, taking into account the criteria. From the three design concepts that have been made, the second concept design with the highest value is chosen. So the second design concept is chosen as a concept designed to make a fiberglass cutting machine with an adjustable holder. And then number two is machine manufacturer include the cutting process, grinding process, and welding process. The machine is designed with dimension of 1,000 1,500 and 500 millimeter using hollow profile material to form the frame of the machine. After determining the next design, determine the calculating of machine element, and then testing the machine that has been made. Number three is the machine can cut a pipe with a diameter of 100 millimeter in 20 seconds, and for a pipe with a diameter of 500 millimeter in 1 minute 20 seconds. And this is the suggestion. Suggestion are give the hope that this final project can be refined and developed. Again, will suggestion that can be given in this final project as follow. The number one is in future research, machine design can be developed, especially in the cutting tool section, which can be adjusted to obtain various length of cut pipe. Number two is in the future research, it can be developed by making their own cutting tool with large cutting edge, so they are not hampered during the cutting process and using a milling machine work table system for the base of the cutting tool. Thank you for the attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.